Friends, this is our next session on JavaScript. In that, we also seen a number of things, for example, loop, for example, compose statement, what is variable in JavaScript, etc. etc. So the next concept is variable. So friends, what is variable? Variable is a specific name to the specific or by using character we have to define the variable. Means when we have to allocate the memory for a specific alphabet or a specific character, that will be store some values, that is called as variable. Variable means what? At runtime we have to change the value of a specific entity. That entity is called as variable. In that slide, a variable is a name associated with a piece of data. So friends, variable allows you to store or and manipulate data in your programs. If you think about a variable as a mailbox which holds the specific piece of information, that is called as variable. So here I will take some examples of variable. So first variable is x, where x means in specific JavaScript we define where when we have define the variable x is equal to 10, that variable is a integer type of variable. Y is equal to 17, that variable is also the integer type of variable, and both are end with semicolon. Means when you define variable in your JavaScript programming, at that time you define semicolon at the end of that variable definition. So next variable is color, and also next one is name. That color consists of red, and the name, that is catty, means what? That is the string type of variable. So if we broadly explain what is variable, then it is virtually important to distinguish between the name of the variable and the value of that variable. Means if we define the value of that particular variable is, for example, 15, that variable is integer type of variable. And if you have to define the variable, for example, xyz is equal to double quote John, that variable is a string type of variable. So here in previous slide we defined color as a string type of variable. In other words, color is the name of the box, while red is what is the inside in the box. So there are two different types of variables. First one is primitive data types. There are two different types of data types. First one is primitive data type, and second one is composite data types. So you are very much friendly with that two different types of data types of JavaScript. Primitive, in that numbers, strings, and boolean. Boolean means what? True or false. Either you have to check the condition, that condition is true, either false. That will be checked by using boolean type of variable. Number can stores the numerical values, and string stores a bunch of characters. Okay. Composite data types. There are two different types of data types here. Composite, that is first one is array, and second one is object. When we want to define any type of class, at that time we have to initialize the that class with the specific object. Means what? Class is nothing but a collection of objects. So array is a data structure that will be stores the value in the form of number of indexing. We have to define, for example, array of 10. Suppose in a C language int of array of 10, that will consist 10 number of elements. So primitive, number or integer, string, sequence of letters or characters enclosing single quote or double quote, boolean, that is true or false. Next, JavaScript is untyped, means it does not have an explicit data type. For instance, there is no way to specify that a particular variable represents the integer, string, or real numbers. So it is untyped, means what? JavaScript supports untyped of variable type. The same variable can have different types in different context. Means what? You have to define the same variable at one place. You have to define that as a integer type of, and another place you have to define that will be as a string. So implicit data type, although JavaScript does not have explicit data types, it does have implicit data types also. If you have an expression which combines two numbers, it will evaluate to a number. So if you have an expression which combines a string and a number, it will evaluate to a string. It means what? For example, A B C D 1 2 3 4. That is a alphanumeric values. That's it. So that is implicit data type. Example of variables, for example, where x is equal to 4, here we have to take an x plus y is equal to something. So we get here 15. In next, y is equal to 11. Next, z is equal to cat. So z plus x means what? Cat and 4. That is the explicit type of q, and variable x is 4. So 4 plus q is 17. Means what? 17 is the string and x is 4. So 417 is the answer. So you have to define here implicit as well as explicit type of JavaScript variables. These are the more examples on the JavaScript. So next one is array. Friends, as our previous discussion, array is nothing but the collection of elements that will be stored or that will be accessed easily by using their index of the array. So array is a compound data type that stores number of pieces of data. Each numbered atom, that is data, is called an element of an array, and the number assigned to it is an index. So we have to assign the array index to each and every element of the array, and we have to access by using their index also. It means what? We have to access any type of data from anywhere from the array by using the index of that array. So the element of an array may be of any type. A single array can have stores the element of a different stores elements of a different type. No problem. Creating an array. How to create array in JavaScript? So where a is equal to new array 1 2 3 4 5. So that is the first example of array. Here array constructor, and next one is variable b, new array which will consist 10 numbers. Okay. So using array literals. So for example, variable c is equal to 1 2 3 4 5. These are the